Again.
Yeah, you were very popular last week. Everybody was asking, what is that pendulum?
Pendulum. Harry, if you're passionate about a topic or a subject, usually from work or a hobby, it's very easy to talk about it. But Vedanta or Bhagavad Gita, at least for me, it's really hard. So with this SNP, I know when we talk to Vijay Kumarji or when you hear his lectures or when you listen to Swamiji or any other lectures, it looks like they make it so simple. And then the next thing is when you are listening to it, you can absorb it, the content, the delivery, the stories, you feel like, wow, I got it. And then as soon as you start leaving the room or the hall, slowly it fades away. The very next day or the next week, completely gone. At least a couple of stories you remember, usually. But with this SNP, at least for me, those two slokas, I could go back and read through again and again, at least for a couple of days. So that kind of got it inside me. Whether I apply it or not, at least I know the content, or at least I can chant the slokas. That's what Vijay Kumarji was saying. At least with the SNP, you should be able to chant it. So definitely I remember that and I can chant. And another thing what I got is, though it is only 10 minutes, a couple of minutes, but the content what you have there, you have to prepare. So you go back and you read it. Then when you look at Vijay Kumarji and Swamiji, they simplify, they come and talk as if casually, but you see how much of effort goes into it. Every weekend he has got several sessions going on. So I really envy, and you have another respect for that one too. So with that, real quick, let me introduce our next speaker, Loganji. He's a silent achiever. He's part of our chapter for several years, and he has attended several, I'm sure he's here all the time, and he's part of several study groups as well. He's going to be talking about shlokas 5 and 6. Hari Om. Again, I really want everyone to avail the opportunity. So that way you go back and you read it, and then you come back and say it very simple terms, whatever you learn. Hari Om.
Thank you.
Thank you. I was sitting in the back seat for last 6 years, 6 to 7 years. I am now exposed. Thank you, Satya. So, from last week, verse 5 and 6, I summarized. I understand this, but without looking at it, I may miss a few things. So, I will, excuse me, I'm a student, Vedantic student. First time talking about Vedanta, it's hard to express my views. So I'll read whatever I have. And if there are any problems, let me know. Immediately or after the class. So in verse 5, chapter 16, verse 5, Arjuna doubts whether he is divine nature or demonic nature. Lord Krishna observes his devotee Arjuna's distorted by this idea. Arjuna thinks he may not be fit for moksha, may not be a fit student for moksha. He has this doubt. So Krishna senses this and he tells Arjuna that you are divine in nature. Please don't worry. Ma chuchaka. That means please don't worry. So as Vedanta students, I think we also should have this question. We should continuously analyze our thoughts. We should think as thought comes. We should think if it is, what type of thought it is. I think that will help refine our thoughts and eventually it will help our actions better. Vijay Kumarji brought up an example last time. The game in Chuck E. Cheese, we hit the head as it arises. And like that, we should analyze our thoughts and right away we should put it, strike it down. If it is thought that is self-centered or if it's desire prompted action or desire prompted experience, the thought. Eventually we should shut it down, and that type of action will lead the action to intelligent action. That's what it says. Intelligent action is what is known as karma yoga. So eventually karma yoga will lead us to moksha. Actions that are not attached to, or actions that do not expect any benefit. We don't expect any benefit out of it, we do our actions. That will lead to moksha. So divine nature within all of us will help in spiritual upliftment. Gurudev is saying in that book, since we reached this chapter 16 so far, we have the perseverance to read, complete this, and therefore we are into that category, divine category. Gurudev is advising us. So that's verse 5. Verse 6, Lord Krishna tells Arjuna that there are only two types of created beings in the material world, the divine and demonic nature. Divine has been extensively explained. Now listen to me about demonic explanation. Lord Krishna tells Arjuna. Divine nature is good nature, the path for moksha. Freedom, which is freedom, moksha. Freedom is not doing what you want to do. Vijay Kumarji mentioned that freedom is to go against your asuric tendencies. Demonic nature is the asuric tendency. So if you go against those tendencies, that's the real freedom. So if a bad thought comes, postpone it. If good thought comes, do it right away. That's what Jagmati was saying. People with bad tendencies are asuras. I categorize this asura in two levels. One is hard asura and soft asura. As I read through, this is how I learned. Hard asuras are like violent, cheating, stealing, lie, madness, those things. I think we are, at least in this class, we are out of that hard part. We still have soft asura part. So soft asuras are like judging people, pride, anger, ignorance, all those are. Even listen to music. It could be divine music, but still, or electronic gadgets, attachment, all those are still soft asuras. We have to eventually get rid of it. Vijay Kumar's example, he brought the better asura, that we have negative tendencies, but we want to improve. That's better asuras. That's all I have. So if we have asuric nature, if we still keep in this asuric world, we will be still end up in that perpetual cycle of birth and death. If we get out of it, we will be in moksha. That's what we will see.
Wonderful.
That's it. Well done, Logan.